Session 08 Securing Celery. A task queue widens the attack surface of any application. The broker, the serialization format, and every task argument are new places where untrusted data can reach code execution. This session covers the practical risks and the concrete mitigations you need in production. Celery adds 3 new attack vectors that a regular web application does not have. First, the serializer can be exploited if you use Pickle with an untrusted broker. Second, the broker itself can be accessed directly if it is not authenticated or network isolated. Third, task arguments cross a trust boundary just like HTTP request bodies and must be validated inside the task, not assumed safe from the caller. Pickle can deserialize arbitrary Python objects, including ones whose reduce method executes attacker-controlled code at unpickle time. If anything other than your own trusted producers can write to the broker, Pickle becomes a remote code execution primitive. Switch to JSON as both the task serializer and the accepted content type. If a task needs a complex object like a number py array, serialize it explicitly and pass it as bytes or base 64 through JSON. Broker access must be locked down at 3 layers. Authentication, Redis without require pass and RabbitMQ with default guest credentials are instantly exploitable if reachable from outside. Network isolation, bind the broker to a private subnet or VPC and never expose port 6379 or 5672 to the public internet. TLS in transit, both Redis and RabbitMQ support TLS, use it whenever the broker and worker traverse a network you do not fully control. A secure broker URL with TLS for Redis uses the Redis protocol with the password embedded and SSL certificate verification set to required. This encrypts all task messages in transit and prevents man-in-the-middle attacks between your web process and the Celery worker. Apply the same pattern to RabbitMQ using the AMPS protocol. A task argument crossing the broker is the same trust boundary as an HTTP request body. Validate it inside the task and do not assume the producer sanitized it. A compromised producer or a bug elsewhere in the codebase could enqueue a malicious value. This matters more as the number of producers grows because a task callable from several services is only as trustworthy as the least audited caller. Never put secrets in task payloads. Task arguments are stored by the result backend and are visible in Flower's task detail view and in broker-level message inspection tools. Passing an API key or credit card number as a task argument means it sits in plain text in Redis or RabbitMQ. Instead, pass a reference or token and look up the sensitive value inside the task from a system with its own access control, such as a payment vault or secrets manager. Celery's default argument logging can leak sensitive data into application logs. Use a Python logging filter to scrub sensitive values from task log records before they are written. The redacting filter replaces any known sensitive string with asterisks in the log message and returns true to allow the record through. Eager mode from Session 07 is appropriate for tests but dangerous in production. It silently removes the isolation between the web process and the worker. A task that hangs, leaks memory, or crashes will take the web request thread down with it, and resource limits configured for workers no longer apply. Guard against accidental production enablement with an explicit environment check that asserts task always eager is not true when the environment is production. Session 08 Recap. Never use Pickle with an untrusted broker, always set the serializer to JSON ORMS pack. Lock down broker access with authentication, network isolation, and TLS. Validate task arguments inside the task as untrusted input. Never pass secrets or PII as task arguments, use references resolved inside the task. Guard eager mode from production config drift with an explicit environment check. Run workers as non-root with least privilege access. Session 09 will cover Celery deployment strategies.